hope. I think I deleted the whole live stream. I'm not sure what I did there, but happy Monday. Hopefully, you can hear and see me. Let's see, I was live there for a second. Let me see what's going on over here on YouTube. But welcome in, welcome in. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I am live. I thought I was live before, then it didn't look like I was live, then I was live. I don't know what happened. But let me see. Who do we have here in the chat? Let me know if you can hear and see me. Let me know if you can hear and see me. Hold on, I have to exit out of this one. Give me 1 second. Still, I don't know what's happening. Alrighty. All right, I see a few people coming in. Let me make sure this is muted. All right, let's see. Okay, I think maybe I'm good now. Guys, me and this technology, and it's been a minute it's been a month since I've been live on Monday. Let's see, am I live over on YouTube? I am. I see 28 watching. All right, let me go to the chat. All right, we are back. We are back. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me. Somebody just let me know. You can hear and see me. Thank you so much, Ania. I appreciate that. Guys, welcome in. Happy Monday. It feels like a Monday. Happy Monday. I am RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures. And it's Monday, so this is our Monday Midday Cruise Q&A, where I go live to answer your cruise questions. I am the owner of Major Ventures Travel, where I help people plan their cruise vacation. So if you're looking to plan your cruise vacation, your first cruise, your next cruise, whatever, feel free to contact us. We would love to assist you. I've also been on 89 cruises since 2019, and I've cruised pretty much all of the mainstream cruise lines, and I'm branching into more luxury and river cruising, so stay tuned for that. So I'm well versed in whatever you may need to know about cruising. So I do my best to answer your questions. So you can start dropping those in the chat. And thank you for coming over from the other link. I think it didn't show me live, so I exited out and then it deleted. So I don't know, but let me see if I'm live over on Facebook. I appreciate you guys being here on this Monday. It is a cold Monday here. So I came back from, if you guys have been following, I was just in Grand Bahama yesterday, got back, and it was snowing this morning. So we had some school delays and things happening here in Ohio. But before we begin, I do want to let everyone know that we are very, I guess, in tune with what's happening currently with the state of the affairs with the US and Iran and what's happening. And we do send our well wishes, thoughts, prayers to those impacted, our military who will be, protecting and leading and things, as well as those who are currently traveling and possibly stuck over seas. We are, you know, the situation is something I personally don't like to speak on publicly because, there's just lots of controversy with politics and things like that. But I just want you to know that we are thinking of the situation, praying about the situation. And I'm not going to really discuss it much further than this. So if you have questions about that, I may just skip over those, but just know that it is heavy on our hearts and, we're hoping for a really good outcome. So, with that out the way, let's see who we have here in the chat. If I can get my chat to pop up. Let's see here. Thank you so much, Danielle. Danielle says she can hear and see us good. It was so nice meeting you, Danielle. Danielle's one of my cruise clients, and it was just like perfect timing. I was at an event with Carnival this past weekend, Celebration Key, and I was touring Carnival Vista. And right before I boarded the ship, she was getting off. And so we were able to connect and finally meet. So nice to meet you, Danielle. Jessica says we can hear and see you. Thank you so much for being here from Facebook. Savvy Voyages, welcome in, welcome in. I think you were the first one in on the other live stream, so I appreciate you being here. Welcome in, Nia. Hey to you. Cruise Chat, welcome in. Loretta says you're back. I am. Thank you. I'm glad I was able to get back quickly because sometimes the technology doesn't work for me. Elisa, welcome in, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Kalia World, welcome in, welcome in. Lita Shay, welcome in. Lita Shay, welcome in. Happy Monday to you. Felicia says, yes, I can, meaning you can hear me. I appreciate you being here. Team Reese Travel says, we can hear and see you fine. And it was such a pleasure hanging with Kiki. Guys, if you're not following Team Reese Travels, be sure to follow. I was with Kiki this past weekend. We were invited by Carnival to just take part in this learning event to learn more about Celebration Key, to experience that, to network, collaborate, and things like that. So it's always great to hang with her. And I will be hanging with her again if you guys are not booked on our Ultimate Land and Sea New Orleans cruise. She is one of the hosts that will be facilitating that group cruise / land trip. So if you are looking to get booked, I am sold out, but you can reach out to Team Reese Travels. You can reach out to See It With Sea. You can reach out to the Savvy Travel Hub, Regina, and you can reach out to Parker's on the Go and Sig the Solo Cruiser if you want to get booked on that. Welcome in, Tracy. Nia says, I signed up for KHM. I did research, I promise. Congratulations. I hope everything works out for you, and I'm sure you did your research. That is amazing. Congratulations to you on getting started. Janet saying hello. All right, I'm just scrolling. We're going to go ahead and just start dropping cruise questions. That's what we're here for. I can tell you that I have not been live the last, I think, 5 weeks. It's just been a busy time of traveling, and not only traveling, planning cruises. It has been the busiest wave season that we've had thus far. We're approaching 1 million in sales in just 2 months. And so it's just been super, super busy. And so you have to kind of balance, the going live, creating content, creating bookings, helping clients that are currently traveling, plus our own travels. So it's just been a balancing act right now. So again, it has been about 5 weeks since I've done this live stream, but I will tell you that I will be live for the next 3 Mondays, or today and then 2 more Mondays before I take my next trip. So I have about 3 weeks before my next cruise. So I'll be here next Monday and the following Monday. Welcome in, Edna's World. Appreciate you being here. Mrs. Rosser, welcome in. Let's see here. Drea says, picturing sounds fine. Thank you so much. Cruise Chat said, I changed my channel name, formerly Hanging with the Hordes. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So it's Cruise Chat. Is it Cruise Chat with Amanda? All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm sure we're still subscribed. All righty, let's see. Fam Lions, welcome in. I hope you guys are doing well since we've missed your Monday chats. Let's see here. Nia says, I'm waiting on your travel agent course. I'm getting that so often. I would love to do something soon. It's just a crazy time. And I'm in the belief that unfortunately there's a lot of travel agents that are having courses, that are sharing things, some who are truly legit, truly know what they're talking about, truly know what they're doing. And then there's others that post that they have these courses and that they're here to teach you how to be a travel agent, this and that, and ask them what their sales are. So I want to make sure that when I do offer something, that I am truly in a place to call myself an expert, because I don't believe you can sell a course or you could teach something without being an expert in something. And while I do feel like I'm knowledgeable on being a travel agent as well as a content creator, all of that, I don't consider myself an expert yet. So once I get to that point where I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this, then I will, and when I have time, I will create some sort of course and do that, because I do love to teach. And I was having this conversation actually with Kiki this weekend that I do miss teaching. That is kind of where I come from, education background. And so I would love to do something like that and teach a course. But I want to make sure that I'm well prepared and that I'm well received as an expert in the field to do so. Welcome in, DeAndre. Appreciate you being here. It says good afternoon. I didn't realize it was Monday. You know what? I almost forgot it was Monday because I woke up this morning thinking it was Friday for some reason. But no, it is Monday. But welcome in. And DeAndre just got back from 15 days of cruising, back to back cruising. So be sure to check out DeAndre. Let's see here. All right, start dropping your questions. Rose, is it Rosemary or Rosemary? Welcome in. Gaynell, welcome in. Says, glad you're home. Yes, I'm glad to be home. It was just a short trip, but I'm always glad to be home. But welcome in to everyone. Erica says, I was stuck on the other live. I think I deleted it. I don't know what I did. Linda says, sailing on Panorama in 4 weeks. Watch your vlog over the weekend. So excited. I love Panorama. And actually, I was on Vista this week, and it's the sister ship, and it reminded me how much I like Panorama. Song says, greetings all, hope all is well with you. Yes. All right, just scrolling, guys. Go ahead and Oh, Family says, hopefully I don't get to play with all the Middle East chaos going on because I have upcoming cruises I don't want to miss. I'm hoping you don't get deployed. I'm hoping that everything simmers quickly. Um, so yeah, so sending thoughts and prayers your way. I definitely hope that doesn't happen. Rochelle and Curtis, but also Family Lines, thank you so much for serving. We do appreciate you. Anyone that's in the chat, thank you so much for, if you're military, former military, thank you for serving. We do appreciate you. And I know you're needed currently. And I won't talk about the current administration, but we do thank you. Rochelle and Curtis, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Now, guys, this is a cruise Q&A. It seems like you guys just want to chat today. We can chat too, but if you have questions, feel free to drop those. Timothy says, I have followed you a lot and love all the places you've shown. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. See it with C, Carlene. Hola to you. Welcome in, welcome in. Again, See it with C. She has availability for our Ultimate Land and Sea out of New Orleans on Carnival Dream. Feel free to contact her. And again, I said Team Reese as well because I'm sold out. Let's see here. Brenda says, hello, watching from Celebrity Excel and Bimini. Nice, nice. Jen Danielle is on board Celebrity Excel right now. So maybe you'll run into her. Hope you're having a great time. I want to get on Excel soon. Cassandra says, what's the best hotel for Port Canaveral Cruise Port and do you recommend GoPort? As far as the hotels out of Port Canaveral, personally, I've only stayed there twice, I think, because the cost of the hotels at Port Canaveral are more expensive than just staying at Orlando Airport. And a lot of times because of how our flights come in, it just makes sense to stay at Orlando. So I really couldn't give you any from personal experience that I would say I would recommend. There is a Holiday Inn like right across from I forgot which terminal it is, but there's the one that's right there that a lot of my clients will stay at. But GoPort, I'm not gonna say I don't recommend GoPort, but I recommend Cruise Control Transportation over GoPort. If you're just looking for transfers, because Cruise Control, they offer now, first off, if you're staying at Port Canaveral, then you really don't need GoPort because it's going to be cheaper for you just to catch an Uber or a Lyft or whatever to the cruise terminal because it's right there. If you are staying in Orlando, at Orlando Airport, that's where you might use GoPort because it's going to be worth it. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. It'll be worth it if you stay in Orlando because they have like a package where you can get hotel and shuttle, all of that, but sometimes price it out separately because sometimes it's more to package it together than it is to book things separately. But my go-to for transportation is Cruise Control Transportation. They offer shared shuttle services from Orlando Airport itself and the hotels near Orlando Airport, as well as Cape Canaveral. And it's $25 per person each way. If you mention code MHFam, you will save 10%. They have 10 passengers per van. So for me, it just works better than getting in a 60 passenger GoPort bus because you'll be waiting for the bus to fill up, either going to your cruise or coming back from your cruise. So you might have multiple stops before you make your way to the terminal. So just make it easy. Book Cruise Control, and you can go to their website, cruisecontroltransportation.com. You can chat with them right there and book directly. And again, mention code MHFam. Let's see here. Jamila says, love GoPort. Yeah, GoPort works for some. For me personally, if I don't want to have to wait for a bus to fill up to take off, whether it's going to the cruise or coming back. I don't want to wait. So that's why I personally don't go for GoPort, but I know a lot of people that do. But again, Cruise Control. And I also like to support small businesses. So Cruise Control Transportation is a small business. So I will almost always book with them before I go to GoPort, but it's a personal preference. Let's see here. Andrea says, watching from Cozumel at El Cid because of your recommendation on YouTube. How are you liking that? I remember the food was really, really good. The only thing that I didn't like about El Cid was that there wasn't a true beachfront. You could snorkel from the rocks there, but there wasn't a true beachfront. But I would absolutely go back there again. And I love that they had breakfast, so I didn't have to eat on the ship, and I could go there and have a really nice Mexican breakfast. So that was really nice. Unlearning Eat says, in Miami, would you walk NCL Port to MSC Port AA? I've never done that. I don't know if there are sidewalks But that terminal is close to it is close to, actually I think it's the next one over. Is it the next one over? Or is there Disney right there? I think it's the next one over. So you could technically walk it. I probably wouldn't though, only because I don't know if there are sidewalks that'll get you from one terminal to the next. If anybody knows, let me know. I've never had to do that. So I personally wouldn't walk because that port is pretty busy. So yeah, I probably wouldn't walk. I would just do a ride share. But someone told me that there was some sort of shuttle that was running between the terminals. Oh gosh, who was that? Someone mentioned that they were doing a side by side. And I don't know if it was the specific cruise line that was transferring them to the next one, or I don't remember. But it would be nice if Miami, maybe they do have some sort of transfers for those who are doing side by sides, because there are a lot of people that do that when they cruise. If you guys don't know what a side by side is, first off, a back to back is when you book two or three of the same sailings, or the same, you stay on the ship for an extended period of time. So it might be you booked a 5 night cruise plus a 4 night cruise on that same ship, same cabin, what have you. You make it a 9 night cruise. A side by side is when you get off one ship on one day, and the same day you get on another ship within that same port. Or some people leave Miami and go to Port Canaveral. So yeah, but I personally wouldn't walk it. I would probably just do a quick ride share. Um, Ellie says my husband wants to drive from Iowa to the cruise port. Is that brutal? It's brutal for me. I don't do road trips. Mm-mm. We had to drive once. We were scheduled to get on NCL. We were doing actually a side by side. We were on Carnival Conquest, and then we were getting on, I think, NCL Encore as a family, and we got off Conquest and I had COVID. Um and so we had to drive home because I was not going to get on an airplane with COVID. So we drove home, and that was brutal for me, not only because I had COVID, but I just don't do road trips anymore. I'm just beyond that. I just I just can't. So I'll be very honest. If I ever had to choose between flying and driving, I probably just wouldn't cruise because I just can't. But I understand some people prefer to drive. Some people, that's their only choice, is to drive. I don't even know how far that is to the cruise port, but I personally wouldn't do it. But if you like road trips, it might be fun. Renee says, I love the way you give us such details. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I try. I try. Carol says, Happy Monday. Now waiting for more snow tomorrow. Are we getting more snow tomorrow? I didn't even know. I had no clue we were even getting snow today until I woke up. And then I saw school cancellations and school delays. And I was like, what? Yeah. And the family said it was like 65 degrees here on Saturday. So that's crazy. Welcome in, Honeybee. Appreciate you being here from Central Florida. Ellis McKinley, welcome in, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Emma Rosser says, any updates on Phase 2 Celebration Key? Specifically, have they started on the water park? They have not started, but they are working on it. And that is the next phase from what we were told during this learning session, is that it is going to be a massive water park. I'm guessing very similar to Thrill Water Park at Perfect Day at Coco Cay. I don't think anything's under construction yet, and it's probably going to take a couple of years before that's even done. I think there's 3 phases to Celebration Key, but that would be really nice to have a water park there. It would be great if it didn't cost extra, but you know how the cruise lines, you know how they do. They're trying to make money, so I get it. But guys, we have 151 people watching. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me, that just tells YouTube that you guys are interested in this live stream, and it pushes it out to more people. And if you aren't already subscribed to our channel, please consider subscribing. We are so close to hitting 40,000 subscribers, which it feels like it's a long time coming here on YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing or double checking that you are still subscribed, because sometimes YouTube plays this trick where they unsubscribe people, we would greatly appreciate it. So let's see here. People are speaking. Welcome in, Charles. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching from Facebook. Clinton says, do you know when Meraviglia is leaving from Miami? You know what? Because I did someone asked me, because it seems like a lot of ships are pulling out of New York. I don't know the exact date, though, that Meraviglia. I honestly don't. Off the top of my head, I do not know when Meraviglia is going to start cruising from Miami, but I do know that it's leaving New York. Is it May? Is it May that it's leaving? I'm not sure. I don't want to say for sure. Nia says you could have an accountability community. Accountability for travel agents? Lisa says, I think you're an expert at this point. I mean, I don't like to say that. I mean, I am pretty well versed in, all the cruise lines as far as booking and the steps and this and that and groups and all that. Um, but I don't know. Thoughts on MSC World America? Love it. Love it. It's one of the few MSC ships that I would sail again, and I've already been on it twice. I personally, it's a large ship, but I feel like they spread things out so nicely, and there are so many activities, especially compared to some of the other MSC ships. There's just a ton of things to do on MSC World America, for the family, for solos, for depending on there's a lot to do. I also feel like the food on MSC World America is way better than any food on any of the other ships. And it's not to say that MSC's food is bad, because I do think that that's like a conspiracy theory where people are talking how bad MSC's food is. The only time I had really, really bad MSC food was in Brazil. And overall, the food is good. It's not like the best. I mean, you understand, you kind of get what you pay for. It's one of the uh, lowest costing cruise lines out there. So you're not going to get like gourmet luxury style food. It's good food, but it's not, I'm not going to say it's the best food. But MSC World America, the food there, the quality of it, the options they have, you have more of it, and then you have more included options. So I appreciate that. So MSC World America, absolutely love it. And if you can get Reverend Dr. E as your cruise director, that makes it even better. Let's see here. Melanated, Melanated Mel Travels 2022 says hello. I'm so happy to catch your live. I'm so happy that you are here. I appreciate your support. Let's see here. Drea says, I have a cruise booked on Wonder this season, October. Do you have hotel recommendations in Miami and transportation options? I always recommend, if you're staying in Miami, just Uber or ride share, because it's going to be the cheapest thing. There are transfer services in Miami, but there is not one that I can name that's not like a mom and pop. Not that I don't support mom and pop businesses, but they're just so inconsistent. So there's not like how I mentioned Cruise Control, or I mentioned GoPort. There's not anything like that in Miami, and I think it's because the airport is in close proximity to the cruise terminal. So a lot of people just catch an Uber or a Lyft. That's always my recommendation, because by the time you pay $25 or whatever to the cruise terminal, you could have, just taken an Uber or whatever if you're using the cruise ship shuttle. Um, there's only one hotel in Miami that there's no added cost to transfer, and that's going to be the Comfort Inn Suites Miami Airport North. That is the only one that still currently has complimentary shuttle to the cruise terminal. You just you sign up when you check in for your hotel, but there are other hotels that you might pay $10 to $15 per person to get to the cruise terminal. So I would recommend see what the hotel offers first. I personally would not do the ship shuttle, because if you do that, you have to go back to the airport to catch those. But usually just an Uber or Lyft is sufficient there in Miami. As far as hotels, I almost always stay at Element Miami Airport, Town Place Suites Miami Airport. There's one more. We used to stay at the Comfort Inn, but we stopped going there. The Comfort Inn is a good option if you're looking for, just a quick stay for the night, very, low cost compared to other hotels. And there's one other. But yeah, send me an email. Um, let's see here. Honeybee says, it was lovely meeting you. Oh, that's right. We did meet on the Vista. I was walking by. I was going through the buffet, and I heard somebody say my name, and I backed up. I said, did you just say my name? She was like, yes. So it was nice meeting you as well. Thank you for that reminder. Let's see here. Oh, we have somebody stuck there in Dubai. It says, hi from MSC. Is it Uriba? I think, I don't know how to say that. Stuck here due to what's happening in Iran. I am so sorry to hear that. Now, are you on the ship currently? Sending thoughts and prayers your way. Are you guys on the ship? Are you docked, or are they trying to make their way from Dubai? What's going on over there? Nia says, favorite excursions for an Alaska cruise. That depends on the port. I would say Juneau. I'll just kind of give a rundown of some of the most popular ports. Juneau, my top pick is going to be Harvin Mars whale watching tours. If you guys saw my video from this last last July. Was it this last July? Last July, I think. Quantum of the Seas. Harvin Mars, whale watching tours. Absolutely love them. I Anybody that's booking or has booked their cruise through me for Alaska, when they ask for recommendations, that's almost always what I'm going to say if you're doing whale watching tours, and this is why. So you can currently get Harvin Marv for about $160 per person. The cruise lines whale watching excursions are going to be that cost plus more. The higher the cost, the less people on the boat. With Harvin Mars, the max you're going to get on a boat, I think, is 24. And then they have it to where you can pay a little bit more to have just 8 on a boat. So when you're going whale watching, you want to make sure that it's not overly crowded so that you can move around and get pictures, get video, and see what's happening. If you're on a whale watching boat that has 100 people, that is going to be impossible. So out of Juneau, I would say Marvin Mars or Harvin Mars. Whale watching, you can book it on Viator or you can book it directly with them. It's the same cost. I like Viator because you can book now, pay later. So just go on, search. You can search on Viator through shore excursions. There's a shore excursions tab. Just type in your ship sail date, and then you can filter by supplier and just type in Harvin Mars. Also for Juneau, I would recommend, if you love salmon, go to the salmon, my gosh, I can't speak today, y'all. The salmon bake there. It's an up cost, but it's a nice meal. It's all you can eat salmon. They'll have sides. They have this delicious blueberry bread that is really, really nice. Recommend that. Anything that's going to get you to like a salmon hatchery is pretty cool too if you're into that type of thing. So yeah. Let's see what else. Ketchikan. Ketchikan is a walkable port. You really don't have to do a whole lot in Ketchikan. You can walk to like the red light district over. It's like 10 minutes from the pier. There's lots of shops and things to do right there. But if you are in Ketchikan and you want to get away, I would say go to, if your tour will take you to the George Inlet Lodge. That is a really nice area to go spot wildlife. And they also have all you can eat crab. So if you want to get crab, it can be expensive. You can go there. Skagway, the most popular thing to do in Skagway is the White Pass Railroad ride. We did not do that. And honestly, I'm glad we didn't because with the railroad, it's very popular. If you love the scenic views, it's going to take you through Canada and back, but you don't really have stops and things. Whereas when we did the bus tour, we kind of took a similar route, but we were able to make stops, get to the sign that says "Welcome to Alaska," and then the Yukon sign and all that. And we went and saw the husky puppies, which was an incredible experience. So I would say that there. Ooh, what else? What else? What else? Um, Icy Strait Point is going to be your best spot for whale watching. If you're in Icy Strait Point, every cruise line does not stop at Icy Strait Point. Um, that's a really good spot to go for whale watching because it also borders where Glacier Bay is. So I always recommend, if you are somebody that wants to get to Glacier Bay, but let's say you didn't book Princess or Holland America. If you guys aren't familiar, Princess and Holland America are the leaders for Alaska cruising, because they hold permits to go into Glacier Bay. You're not going to find Glacier Bay on a Carnival itinerary. You're not going to find Glacier Bay on Royal Caribbean or any of those other cruise lines. So if you want to get as close to Glacier Bay as you can, if you have a port stop in Icy Strait Point, take a whale watching tour that will get you closer to Glacier Bay so you can see that, and you'll have some incredible whale watching opportunities there. I think those are the big ones. So hopefully that was helpful. Yes, thank you so much. C's asking, what is it like being on board right now? I'm curious to know too. Inspiring Soul says, question about MSC Europa. Does the balcony price feature an ocean view? If you have a balcony, you have an ocean view. That's just that's natural. A balcony means once you step outside your cabin, you're on your own little patio. So you ultimately have an ocean view. Most ocean view cabins will have a window as well, or the door is glass, so you have that ocean view from the glass door. Yeah, Sitka, that's a good one. Have you been to Sitka? My sister's going in June. I want to recommend an excursion with things. So Sitka is also a very walkable port. We did do a tour where we let Chat GPT plan our day in Sitka, and it is a walkable port. You have to catch a transfer from the ship to the downtown area of Sitka. It's about a 15-minute ride, Most cruise lines have some sort of ticketing system in place. It is complimentary, but they want you to reserve a time to get on the tram or get on the bus to get over to Sitka. And the same thing for coming back. I recommend whatever instructions you get from the cruise line to do that. Make sure you follow it so you don't have to wait in the line because it can be a line. But Sitka, they have forgot what it's called. They have like a little museum not too far from where they drop you off, maybe a 10-15 minute walk. It's a very, very scenic walk. I would recommend doing it. It's right on the waterfront. You can go there and learn about totem poles and things like that. There is a trail that you can walk through. There is the Falcon Center, I think it's what it was, that we went to. The kids enjoyed that, where you can go and see how they rescue the falcons. And what else? Sitka doesn't have a whole lot. And a lot of times Sitka is a shorter port day for a lot of itineraries. As far as an excursion, we kind of like piece together our own. I don't know of an excursion. It seemed like all of the excursions that we were gonna do did what we did, but at a higher cost. So if you're someone that doesn't mind piecemealing it together, that's what I would do. Just go watch our video and kind of walk you through what we did in Sitka. Um, Says I'm not on the ship. From what I heard, they opened the Wi-Fi for all for free of charge due to the situation. Okay, so you're not actually on the ship. Are you stranded on shore? Are you saying that you were cruising and are you on shore now? Did they make everyone get off the ship? Um, let's see here. Cruise Chat with Amanda says, as a TA, which cruise line do you enjoy doing groups with? Who makes it the easiest for a first time doing a group? I'm gonna say Carnival. Carnival makes it the easiest for doing a group because I feel like they have better connections with their like group leaders that reach out, helping you plan whether you need group space on board, group dining, this and that. And then Carnival is naturally easier to book into. So I personally would say Carnival. The only issue with Carnival is that you can only hold group space, the group rate for a period of time. Although they're willing to extend that um, if they see that you're booking into it, they'll extend it for you or whatever. So I would say Carnival is usually the easiest. The one that I like to book into because they have better perks and better commission is MSC, which surprisingly a lot of people don't realize this. MSC has, and I'm talking TA talk right now, MSC has a higher commission percentage for groups than they do for fit bookings. And so you get that plus, some other perks and things. So I like. All right, am I back? I know my husband sees that I'm live. I am back. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Ron is working, and thank you. Yep, that worked. Thank you so much. Carlene says probably a quick camera swap. That's what was needed. He's currently working out of Nashville. So let's see here. So I put my phone on do not disturb, but of course with the family it comes through. So I apologize for that. Let me first I'll make sure he didn't need anything. Okay, I don't think he needed anything. And he's probably watching the chat. All right, let me go back. Let me go back. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Not threw me all off. Um, so yeah, so as far as cruise line, I like Carnival for groups. I like Carnival for groups. Hold on, let me go back up. Uh, Sorry, I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. I'm just having all kind of technical issues. Let's see here. Oh, I'm way behind in the chat. Okay, here we go. Savvy Boy just says, "What advice would you give on getting into group cruises? Should someone do a sail with me first or go all in? Pros and cons." Um, and this is speaking, I guess, TA related. I would say, I mean, you don't have to do a sail with me. I think the only way sail with me's work is if you have an audience for it. And what I mean by that is, like, when I do sail with me, it's usually people that follow me, that want to cruise with me, that want to meet me. And so they book. If you don't necessarily have like a presence, a sail with me doesn't always work because people are like, why would I sail with you? And I'm not saying they don't want to sail with you, but a lot of times it's, I want to sail with you for this reason, or because you deemed yourself as an expert in cruising and I want to experience how you cruise. But you could do a sail with me. Sail with me's, like I said, I feel like the ones that I've had, it's usually people that want to meet me or want to hang out. Or they are new cruisers and they just have that comfort of knowing that their TA is on board with them. Um, but I would say the best way to do groups would be like if you're just trying to get a bunch of people together, would be like if you have discounted rates or some awesome perks that you can share, just put it out there. And you don't necessarily have to be on board because I don't think it's natural for people to expect their travel agent to be on board, but just knowing that you can get together a group of people and possibly get a discounted rate or some perks, I think that that's a bonus. But I mean, a sail with me is good. Like I'm doing a first time cruisers group cruise. I think people love that. So you could advertise something like that. People will jump all over that because they want that comfort of knowing that they're with somebody that can help them if they have problems and help guide them from the time they book all the way up until the time they get back from their cruise. So I think either way works. Rosemary says we're selling at MSC Seashore on Sunday. Any advice? Outside from what I've shared in my vlogs, not really. There, you have a specific question. Let me know if you have a specific question. Just know that MSC Seashore, pretty much you had the dining room in the main, you have the buffet in the main dining room. That's really it for dining. They don't have a lot of casual options included. So if you're going to do specialty dining, do that in advance. If you have not, well, you're leaving Sunday, so you can't really status match if you haven't already. Wi-Fi, if you need extra Wi-Fi, get it before you get on board the ship, because keep in mind, if you did get Wi-Fi with your promotion, they are one of the only cruise lines that once you sign in on one device, you are stuck on that device, so you can't swap out. So keep that in mind. Travels with P&B, welcome in, welcome in. Says I've used GoPort as well. I appreciate you being here. Let's see here. Becky says booked on Utopia of the Seas with you in November. Oh, you booked with our agency. I'm like, am I on Utopia of the Seas this? Am I on Utopia of the Seas? I'm not on Utopia of the Seas this November because I have a big trip coming in November. But I think you're saying that you're booked with our agency. Any must sees? Send me an email. I can let you know. But I would say Utopia. It depends on what you're into. You definitely want to make sure that you schedule for the aqua shows, because those are like top notch. Royal Caribbean, they're the only cruise line that has aqua shows. That is probably the one thing that I tell people not to miss. I encourage you to book that early on because what happens is, when I say early on, meaning if they're offering three different shows for your sailing, try to book that very first one. And you can start booking those typically, and I say typically because it varies. You can start booking those typically the first day, the month before you sail. It'll open up on the app. And I always say do the first one because they are subject to cancel if there's inclement weather. And so if you book the first one, and let's say they have to cancel that one, you have a chance to see it on a later show. If you book the last show, then if they cancel it, you just won't see it. So that would be the must thing that I say for Utopia, would be the aqua shows. In Miami, can visitors go inside the terminal? No. You mean if you have people coming with you and you're about to get on the cruise? No, they cannot. Are you able to do anytime dining on Carnival if you have a set dining time. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. You're either anytime dining or set dining time. You cannot intermix both. Because if everyone did that, then the anytime dining room would be full. So either you select anytime dining, and anytime dining means you show up anytime between 5:30 and 9 o'clock, I think. And then set dining time means 6 o'clock or 8:15 for Carnival. And so you must show up during those times. Says I love to fly even if it's for 50 minutes. Oh, I agree. Travel Yes We See, welcome in. Says I walk because I'm cheap. One terminal between thank you. One terminal between NCL and MSC. And I think that's the Disney terminal, isn't it? Pass by Royals Terminal A to AA. There are sidewalks. Perfect. I appreciate that. See, guys, I don't do everything. I don't see everything. So this is where we have other people that travel because yes, we see they are always cruising. So that's good information. Hello from Dayton, Ohio. I always appreciate transparency and honesty. Very helpful information. I appreciate that. Yep, they are building. Welcome in, Big Murph. Appreciate you being here. They are building a water park. I honestly think Celebration Key is gonna be very, very similar to Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Um, let's see here. Scrolling. Let's see here. Hope Hayes says afternoon. We'll be contacting you. I appreciate that. I'd love to help you plan your cruise. Brum says I love those family pictures on. Well, I think I need to update those. Those are actually they're called mixed tiles, so they're like the sticky pictures. And you just literally, I love the app. You just go on mixed tiles. We have a lot of them through our house. So you just go to mixed tiles and you upload any pictures that you take, and you can select the frame and all this and that. I love them, and I almost always get them around Black Friday because they're really, really cheap. Another trick for mixed tiles, kind of off topic, is if you put your stuff in the cart and leave it there, like 2 days later, they're going to send you like, we're going to give you 30% off. So I always do that. I never buy mixed tiles flat out. I always add it to the cart, unless it's Black Friday. Black Friday, I will because it's not going to get any lower. But if I just at random want to get more pictures, I add it to the cart, and almost always they send me a coupon after. So a little trick for you. Nia says MSC World America was so much fun and the food was great. Yes, I agree. Norman says we want to do Southern Caribbean. Norma says we want to do cruise to the Southern Caribbean. If you can give me some advice, which is the best cruise line to do so? We have traveled with all cruise lines except Celebrity. Honestly, your best Southern Caribbean itineraries are going to leave from San Juan or another port in the Southern Caribbean. Me personally, I will almost always choose MSC for Southern Caribbean, and here's why: because you're not just leaving from San Juan. You're going to leave from Martinique, you're going to leave from Guadeloupe, you're going to leave from St. Lucia, and you're going to hit some of those ports that even the ships that leave from San Juan, they may not hit. So if you caught my MSC Virtuosa, MSC Virtuosa blog, sorry, I think Dice is here. My MSC Virtuosa series, I did that, flew into St. Lucia and then picked it up in Martinique. Amazing, amazing itinerary, but you can do the same out of San Juan. So I would first say MSC. Virgin Voyages has some really nice Southern Caribbean. I also like MSC. Sorry, Dice is coming in the house. Hey, son. I said, hey. All right, I'm live. Dice is driving now, y'all. So in the past, we would have to. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So he's driving in, he's getting me goodies. Okay, I'll save that for later. I appreciate it, son. Yep. What was I saying? Yeah, I would almost always pick MSC because it's very, very port intensive, and that's what I personally love. So with MSC, you're gonna have pretty much a port every day. Azamara Cruises, I just released a long movie, and of course I did the individual Azamara Cruises, but they're very seasonally out of Southern Caribbean. Um, you're not gonna really find Carnival, Southern Caribbean, not like that. I would definitely say Virgin Voyages, MSC. Those are my top pick for Southern Caribbean. Let's see here. Any word if Dr. E will move to MSC World Atlantic? I don't know. I don't know. No word yet. We did suspect that he would be on MSC World America. I don't know if he's going to go on World Atlantic too. We'll find out. We'll see soon enough. Let's see here. Sapphire says, I was glad I was here earlier. Glad to see things got straightened out. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. That was all on me. I deleted the whole stream. Been considering it maybe for my birthday in 2028. Not sure. Okay. Sorry, scrolling. Did I go all the way back to the top? Mm, let's see here. Hairdo says, good afternoon. Just saw you showing, telling me hop on here real quick. I recently did the MSC in December. I stayed at the Blue Lagoon in Miami. They had an airport shuttle for 17. Yeah, so a lot of the hotels will offer shuttle. Um, I just wouldn't do the ship shuttle, and for me, it's just usually better to do the Uber and Lyft. Let's see here. Mamacita, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. And if you, oh, we have 205 people watching. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are new here, I am RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and this is my Monday midday cruise Q&A where I answer your cruise questions. Feel free to drop them. I'm going to be live for probably another half hour since I had that glitch. So drop your questions. I will do my best to answer them. And if you aren't following, please consider following, subscribing, all of that good stuff. Let's see here. Tar Heel says, I apologize if you've mentioned this, but the hotels that you mentioned in Miami, do they also provide shuttle service to the cruise port? They do, but for a cost. So Town Place Suites, Miami Airport offers a shuttle, but it's a cost, I think $15 per person. The other one, Element, they do as well. I think theirs is $15 as well. The only one that doesn't is Comfort Inn and Suites, Miami Airport North. There's two Comfort Inns in Miami, so you have to do the North location. Let's see here. Faith Driven says favorite excursion for San Juan and St. Thomas. For San Juan is very, very it's a walkable port in the sense that a lot of things like the fort and everything is right there, or you can catch a taxi to I can't think of the name of the beach if you want to go snorkel and so it's kind of easy access, but it's kind of cobblestone, kind of uneven, sometimes hills. So I mean, any tour that is going to just guide you around those areas by bus, if you have mobility challenges, I would recommend. If you have not gone to El Yunque, which is the rainforest there, it does take you further away from port, but that is a very popular thing. If you're into rainforest, waterfalls, things like that, going to El Yunque is very, very nice. St. Thomas is my favorite Caribbean port. So I love it. For St. Thomas, what I would recommend, a couple of things. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of them. I use them all the time. There's a Godfrey called Godfrey Tours in St. Thomas, about $40, $50 per person. And it's an open air bus. They have different options. They have some that's called Shop, Sight, See, Beach, or whatever. And you have options. So you can go shopping in Charlotte Amalie, then it'll take you to a beach of your choice, usually Koki Beach, Megan's Bay, or Sapphire Beach, I think. You can pick the beach you want to go to. It'll also take you to the mountaintop where you're going to get those amazing views of St. Thomas, and you can try the famous banana daiquiris. I almost always recommend Godfrey Tours, especially if you are a first-time cruiser going to St. Thomas. Very, very knowledgeable. You're going to get amazing island views, and you get some beach time. And it's inexpensive compared to a lot of tours that you're going to get through the ship. I would also recommend, depending on which dock you are at, if you just want a beach day, a secluded beach day, not all inclusive or anything like that, to catch the water ferry over to Water Island, which is the fifth U.S. Virgin Island. It's really small. They have a beach there, Honeymoon Beach, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A lot of the tours that are snorkeling tours, like the catamaran with the open bar will take you to Honeymoon Beach, which is on Water Island. You can snorkel with turtles there. So I pack my own snorkel gear. I'll get on that ferry, go over that way. But Godfrey Tours would be my number one pick for St. Thomas. Let's see here. Alicia says the taxis in Nassau that just takes you to Atlantis. Where did you catch them at? Only see people doing the island tours. So when you walk out of the gate, there's a huge taxi stand now. You just go there and tell them that you're going to Atlantis, and they're going to make you wait so that they can fill the bus. And it was $5 per person. That was cheaper than taking the water taxi over. Because if you take the water taxi over, you still have to walk a little bit. The water taxi is $7. The cabs or taxis are $5. So just check in at the taxi stand and they'll tell you where to go to wait for it. Michelle says if your flight doesn't land in Miami until 2:30, ooh, 2:30 landing in Miami is pushing it for any cruise, unless you're Virgin Voyages. Most cruise ships all aboard time out of Miami is going to be 2:30 or 3:30. So you might want to look at your itinerary. Whatever's on your itinerary, cushion that by at least an hour, hour and a half. So if it says 4 o'clock all on board, that is not the latest you can get on. They almost always close the doors an hour to an hour and a half before. So you might want to look. 2:30, I would not chance getting to the day of your cruise. I would not chance getting there at 2:30 at all. Even for like Virgin Voyages, I wouldn't, because Virgin Voyages they leave later, but I wouldn't fly in and get in at 2. That is really, really cutting it close, because there could be traffic in Miami. If you check a bag, Miami, you're gonna wait forever for your bags. So if I were you, if it's not too late, I would adjust your flight. Let's see here. Big Murph says May sailings aren't open yet with MSC. Last I clicked, they stop in April, but I'm definitely keeping an eye out. Yes, for next year. Good info on the whale watching. Absolutely. April. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking May. April's gonna be the last month for MSC New York. All right. Sharice, welcome in, says you have sailed on a variety of ship sizes. Do you have a size preference? And mega ships have a lot to do, but I worry about being crowded. I personally like a boutique ship size. I love the large ships for the family. I love that there's lots of activities. I love a smaller ship. So like the Azamara cruise that I was on, it literally was 3 decks. You're going to the gym? Okay, be careful. There are 3 decks of cabins, and then there were like 2 main decks for, like, one deck had the entertainment, the lounges, and the other deck was the pool deck. Love that, because like I was on deck 7, I had to go down 2 decks to get to some of the entertainment, and then 2 decks to get to the pool deck and the buffet. I love that. So I love the smaller ships. Also, the smaller ships tend to get you to better places, or I shouldn't say better. They get you to a variety of places compared to the bigger ships. If you guys have noticed, Icon of the Seas is going to the same ports. Star of the Seas, they're going to some of the same ports. If you get on a smaller ship, you're going to have a wider variety as far as ports. Uh, let's see here. Charmaine says, are you aware of any accessible tours through Viator in Alaska? I do not. Off the top of my head, I do not. Um, I would think that because they are US that there would be some. It just might mean contacting the actual vendors. Because on Viator, there's vendors within Viator. You would need to contact. I personally, if I'm looking for an accessible tour, I wouldn't book through Viator. I would go directly to the website of the tour, or even check the cruise line, because the cruise line might have a accessible tour available. Rachel says, can you prepay your gratuities with MSC? You can. Yes, you can. Um, if you booked it through a travel agent, they would have to add it on. Or if you called in or made it online, you have to call in to have those gratuities added. Let's see here. Welcome in, welcome in. It was such a pleasure meeting you. And I feel like I can't say your travel agency name right. Dawn. It was nice meeting you. Yeah, I had 2 live streams going on. I don't know what happened, but it was a pleasure meeting you. Travel SPC says in Sitka, you can often see whales in the harbor downtown. Yes, absolutely. You sure can. You sure can. Lewis says, when will you come to the Dominican Republic? I'll actually be there in April, but I think I'm part of a group cruise. So I will be, not my group, I'll be part of Sig the Solo Cruisers group cruise in April, and we have a tour planned, but I don't know outside of that when I'll be back. Let's see here. Get it in blood says, hey, taking my family to 10 to the Grove for spring break for 4 nights after watching your video. Well, I hope you have an amazing time. They were referring to the Grove out of Orlando. It was a resort. It was actually one of our first sponsored resort stays. That was a really good time. Oh, it says, I'm a resident. Know those who are going on the cruise have told me this. The ship has been stuck in Dubai since Saturday. Got it. Deborah, welcome in. Can you switch between Wi-Fi on MSC? You cannot. Once you sign in, you are stuck. That is it. I don't know why they're like that, but so yes, what I mean is, if you book the drinks and Wi-Fi promotion, you get 2 devices of Wi-Fi per cabin. If you sign in on your phone, and then let's say, because some cruise lines, I only get 1 device. I have to have Wi-Fi when I travel. So a lot of time I'll get 1 device, and then I'm able to alternate between my phone and my laptop. MSC, you cannot. So MSC, I have to always get an extra device because I need I need my phone, and then I also need, and I can't interchange it. So they kind of force you to get two. Let's see here. I have a question. What is needed when going to Canada? If we're departing from Canada for a cruise, you need a passport. You need a passport. A passport card will not work. You would need to have a passport. If you're a US resident, you would need to have a passport to cruise out of Canada. Um, Erica says, Miami Express was good for me. Family 5 couldn't fit in Lyft XL. Good to know. Let's see here. All right. Sorry, I disappeared for a minute. I'll be back. Let's see. All right. Everyone's telling me I'm back. What would you recommend for Hawaiian cruise from the West Coast? My issue with the Hawaiian cruises out of the West Coast is that there are too many days. So unless you're somebody that just loves sea days, I would personally, if you love sea days, then you could take a 14, 15-day cruise. I mean, there's not a whole lot of cruise lines going to Hawaii, and Hawaii is very, very seasonal. Um, NCL Pride is the only one that hits the main islands in Hawaii, and you pick it up from Honolulu. I would personally recommend that over West Coast cruising because you're going to, like I said, you're going to be cruising 10 to 14, 15 days. You might get 3 ports. So I personally don't recommend it, but it depends on if you like lots of ports. And we have 250 people watching. I appreciate you guys being here today. Again, if you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We are on the road to 40,000. Hopefully we'll hit that in this month. That would be awesome. Living to Deuces, I'm on a cruise next month and I haven't heard of a change of destination with the conflict going on. Do you think I should cancel? You know, it's truly a personal preference. You got to keep in mind, cruise lines aren't going to necessarily give a refund because you cancel because of the conflict. Unless you are in that area, they may offer something, or they're probably already proactively canceling. If you're cruising the Caribbean, Alaska, wherever, there's no changes. I mean, there's nothing going on. Oh, you're talking about Mexico. Guys, there's so much going on in the world. Mexico, is that situation over? Because I don't watch the news regularly, so I don't know unless it's on social media. Um, the cruise lines that were going to Puerto Vallarta, they have canceled those ports. If you're going to Cozumel, Costa Maya, anything over that region, keep in mind it's like a 30-hour bus ride. So you're not even in that zone. You're not in that area. I had a lot of clients reaching out asking should they cancel their Cozumel excursions and this and that. It does sound like some of the excursions may have been canceled by some cruise lines that went further inland, but for the most part, things are as scheduled. It's such a huge space of, distance. So as of now, there's no concern, or I haven't heard of anything. So I wouldn't cancel. And I'll tell you guys this, I know with all of the conflicts, everything that's going on, I personally don't plan on canceling any travel. If things get worse, then I'll make that decision. But as of now, like I have a cruise going to Europe in June. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate you subscribing. I have a group, our sisters cruising abroad, and I mean, as of now, we're still planning on it. Ironically, I had just announced that we were doing our sisters cruising abroad for 2028 in Dubai. We have almost 40 cabins booked, and all of this is happening. I've already had 2 to cancel, which totally understand, but also 2028 is so far away, so it's hard to make decisions and all of that with what's happening. So, if you decide to cancel, that's truly a personal preference. But I would say, also with travel insurance, because I've had a lot of questions lately about travel insurance and what's happening, it may not cover you. So it's one of those things you kind of have to, figure out what's going to work best for you. But as of now, there's no changes for any cruise lines, at least not the ones that I'm working with, where they're making changes based on what's happening. Amazing Adventure says, will you be sailing on Norwegian Luna on the inaugural cruise? Are you talking the inaugural transatlantic? I will not be on the transatlantic. I have one as well and have it canceled. The cruise line is most likely not going to cancel, but they may cancel or change if it's too dangerous. Yes, they will. Charmaine says, TA question, with Carnival groups, birth rooms count toward the group deposit? Yes, they do. Does it work the same with Royal? No, it does not. No, it does not. They require that full deposit per cabin. So even if you have somebody that books and they pay over the amount of the deposit for their cabin, it does not count toward um, the group. Yes. Make sure I'm saying that right. Do you hold your group space based on your availability, or are you guessing when people would love to go? I do it based off my availability. You talking about my personal groups? Everything for our groups and our sail with me's are based on our availability, and I just put it out there. And whoever wants to join, they'll join. But I hold a lot of other group space that's not I'm not traveling on, so I share a lot. In fact, I just filled 16 cabins for Utopia of the Seas, Royal Caribbean Thanksgiving, and I think someone mentioned they were in Utopia. I just filled 16 cabins. I'm not on that sailing, but I had an amazing rate. I booked someone today. I think their rate was like $1,900. It would have been over 3,000 or so booking online. So I hold group space when I see that I have a deal and I want to share that, but I'm not always on that group. Aqua shows are awesome. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Thank you so much for being here, Trippin Texans. I appreciate you being here. Sapphire says going on MSC Maravilha this coming Sunday, and then my NCL Aqua in April. Have a good time. Yes, and I do appreciate you being a client. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Betty Taylor says, I've never cruised before, but thinking about it, I was wondering when is the best time to cruise if you like less crowds, when kids are in school, for certain cruise lines. So typically the best time to cruise for crowds and pricing would be off season. So think September through early November, and then January through early March. Those are going to be your best times to travel, have less kids, less crowd. Now, cruise ships almost always sail at full capacity, but the crowd is different when it's a bunch of kids versus adults. So it doesn't feel as crowded. But cruise ships, for the most part, fill up regardless of the time of year. You're just going to have less kids. The cost is also less if you cruise off season. But if you're looking to plan a cruise, I'd love to help you. Reach out. Have you cruised on Cunard? What is the vibe on board? I have not cruised Cunard because of the vibe on board. I will one day. I hear it's very, very stuffy. And I want to get on every cruise line so I can share that perspective or share my perspective. But I have not cruised Cunard for that reason. I will one day. Welcome in, Beth Ann. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, summer would be the most crowded. Absolutely. Um, let's see here. Whitney says, "How can I book a separate room for my teen boys for Carnival? They are smelly 17 and 14-year-olds. The booking always says must be 21, even when I try to room right next to me." That's where having a travel agent works because we can configure things and get you linked. If you're booking it on the website, you'll have to call Carnival to make that happen. The issue now, though, is Carnival changed their minor policy to where a 14-year-old cannot be in the cabin, period, without, I think the 17-year-old can. The 14-year-old cannot be. They changed it because there were issues with minors and things. So the 14-year-old would have to be in a cabin with a 21-year old, maybe the 17-year-old. Let me check real quick. Hold on. Because they constantly change, and each cruise line is a little bit different. Carnival minor policy. And I always have to look this up when I'm booking my clients because I don't want to get it messed up. Yeah, so any passenger under 21 must be accompanied in the same or connecting cabin by a parent, guardian, or relative 25 or older. So neither one of your kids can be in a cabin by themselves. So if you are going with a spouse or someone else that's 25 or older, what I would do is I would split them up. I would put an adult in each cabin, and then I don't want to say that you could swap once you get on board, but that is something you could potentially do. But that's how you would have to resolve that, or you'd have to get connecting cabins. And I only say I'm not going to tell you to do that because I've had an issue before where I had a client, and I'm always very transparent. I had a client where I had um, husband and wife split up to be with the kids, but the intention was once they got on board, they would swap key cards, and the mom and dad would sleep in a cabin and the kids in the next cabin. What happened was there was a maintenance issue with the kids' cabin, and so that cabin got moved to a different deck. You have to understand that even if you select a cabin on a cruise ship, it is always subject to change. So once they got on board, the mom and dad had to sleep apart. And they were upset with me because they had to sleep apart. And that was when I was a newer agent and really didn't understand that that could happen. And so they were upset that they had to sleep in separate cabins because that one cabin was moved. I also I couldn't, guess that they would have a maintenance issue, that that cabin would move. So it didn't work out in their favor. So you take that chance if you do that, that your cabin could move. And then in this case, they didn't want the kids on a separate deck or a different deck. So that's why I say that. But as a TA, you live and you learn some things. I learned that really quickly. Um, let's see here. Shireen, is it Shireen? Says, I recently subscribed to your channel. I love your honest opinions. Will you be cruising on the NCL Luna? I will be. I will be. Let's see here. Marjorie, welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Let's see here. Sorry, just scrolling. Um, Oh, I have a question about the ABC Islands. I haven't been to the ABC Islands enough to really give a recommended sightseeing tour. I've been to Aruba and I've been to Curacao. When I was in Aruba, I actually did the Riu Day Pass. But as far as a sightseeing tour, off the top of my head, I don't know of one, and I don't know of one from experience. I have not been to Bonaire yet, but when I do go to Bonaire, I will be doing drift snorkeling. That is on my bucket list. And then Curacao, Irie Tours. Irie Tours was amazing. We do have a video on Irie Tours. It's IRIE. They offer a wide variety of different types of tours, and ours was like an island tour. It took us around, gave us a lot of good history information. We were able to take some picture stops, and then we went to Kokomo Beach? Yeah, I think we went to Kokomo Beach. Beautiful, beautiful. Take your snorkeling gear. It was amazing. But I haven't been to Bonaire yet. Um, First time cruiser on celebration on the 8th for 60th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Flying at 8:30 a.m., taking Uber. Will that be fine? Yeah, that'll be perfectly fine. What I would do is though, I would probably sit at the airport for a little bit before you because they don't typically open the terminal till around 10 a.m. and they sometimes are strict about the time that you get in. So depending on what time your check-in is, you might be better off waiting at the airport for a little bit so you're not waiting outside standing. So I would probably wait until about 9:30 before heading to the terminal. Welcome in, Barbara. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Kay Marshy, do you think Explore Journeys was worth the extra cost? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm on Explore Journeys again in exactly a month. Yeah, I board April 2nd, exactly a month from today. I will be on board Explore Journeys again. So yes, for me, it's worth the cost. When you look at the cost of Explore Journeys, if you guys don't know, Explore Journeys is a luxury cruise line. And welcome into the 254 people watching. I appreciate you guys being here. Um, Explore Journeys is a luxury cruise line. They are the sister company to MSC Cruises, which you guys know I love MSC Cruises. But this is their luxury product. And I've talked to a lot of people that cruise luxury, the Cunards or the Ritz Carlton, and a lot of people are really enjoying Explore Journeys, even compared to some of those higher end luxury lines. So whereas Explore Journey looks expensive on the when you first look at it, compared to other luxury lines, it's actually like budget luxury. But you have a lot of inclusions there. So your specialty dining is included. You have access to the thermal spa, that's included. You get drinks included. You get up to 3 or 4 devices of Wi-Fi per person included. So when you start looking at all of the things that are included and you add those onto your other cruises, it's like, yeah, no. I mean, it's a really good value. You also can order like wine and liquor, like bottles of liquor for your cabin. All of that stuff is included. For me, it was great service. I'm curious to see how the experience is different out of the Caribbean because when I sailed on Explore Journeys, I cruised out of Barcelona. So it was a different vibe, a different group of people, and it wasn't as full. I anticipate the sailing that I'm going on in April to be probably pretty full, but even full for Explore Journeys is like 700 people, which most cruise lines you're looking at 2,000 plus. So for me, yes, absolutely, Explore Journeys is worth the cost. I've sailed on Freedom and speaking of Explore Journeys, I do have a sale with me, December 13th through the 20th on the brand new Explorer 3. If anyone is interested, is open for anyone that wants to experience luxury. I think right now we have 9 or 10 cabins booked for that sailing. So if you are interested, the starting cost is about, if you are solo, it's about 4,000. If you are double occupancy, it's about 7,100. So just to give you an idea of what the cost is. But if you are interested, reach out to me. And that is a Southern Caribbean itinerary because we leave from San Juan and we return to Miami. Passport is required. Um, yeah, Sitka is Russian territory, and they'll give you that history when you're on that bus going over. Um, did you go on Icon and was it worth the money? So expensive from Ohio. Um, keep in mind when I went on Icon, I was invited by Royal Caribbean, so I didn't pay for it. I'm always very honest about that. So I was invited, did not have to pay for it. Would I pay for Icon of the Seas? The cost has actually gone down on Icon and Star of the Seas like pretty nicely. In the beginning, I was like, for a family of five, I'm not paying $10,000 for a Royal Caribbean ship. I'm not doing that. I'm not paying $12,000, and that's what it could be. It's really gone down quite a bit. So I would say double check the pricing now because it may be more affordable than depending on when you looked before. I do think it's worth it. But for me, if you're a ship person, yes. For me, I'm not a ship person. Our kids aren't really ship kids. Like they're not ones that go on a cruise because of a ship. They truly are like me and they like the ports. So I wouldn't book Icon because of the ports. I've already been to those ports. You know, you're going to Perfect Day at Coco Cay, you're going to St. Martin, you're going to Nassau. I've already been there. So I wouldn't book Icon for that reason. Again, we're not ship people, but if you are a ship person and you think you're going to spend a lot of time on the ship and really explore the areas, then yes, it's worth it. Do I need to have a passport for a cruise going to Half Moon Cay and Grand Turk? Depends. If you, first off, passport is always recommended. And I would be very honest with you during this time and what's happening in the world. I would strongly, strongly recommend having a passport. Like strongly, strongly recommend it. If you are a US citizen, because this cruise starts and ends at the same US port, you can technically use your original birth certificate and valid ID. That's the case for anyone 16 and older. They need a valid ID and original birth certificate. Anyone under 16, they would just need their original birth certificate. And when I say original, that means not a photocopy. It cannot be a photocopy. It cannot be a picture on your phone. It needs to be the original or a certified copy of your original. You can. I caution you though, because God forbid if something happens when you're in Grand Turk, you're going to have a hard time trying to get fly back to the US. So it's always recommended to have a passport. But yes, in this particular itinerary, you can use original birth certificate and valid ID. That doesn't always work though. Let's see here. Scrolling. Simply Breeze says, finally caught alive. Appreciate you being here. Sailing on Horizon soon. Any suggestions on pre-cruise affordable hotel? If you're cruising out of Miami, if you're on Horizon, the most affordable hotel that offers ship transfers would be Comfort Inn Suites, Miami Airport North. I think I've mentioned that a couple times in this live stream. They will offer complimentary shuttle to the cruise terminal as well. Let's see here. LaBeau says, hello, is there a way to make the embarkation process smooth for an autistic teen who has sensory issues and problems with crowded spaces and waiting? Yes. This is where working with a travel advisor helps, or contacting the cruise line's guest access or special needs department. Just let them know that you're traveling with someone that has autism and has sensory issues, and then you will be able to go to the expedited line that is for guests that have disabilities or require assistance, and they'll have a separate waiting area for you in most cases, and you'll be amongst the first to board as well. So just contact your travel agent, contact the cruise line. They will notate your booking, and then just know when you arrive, go to, and sometimes they won't tell you all of this in advance. That's why having a travel agent is helpful. They may not tell you all of this, even though they've documented your booking, but you just go right to the section that says, you know, guest access, special needs, whatever. When you get to the cruise terminal, they'll get you taken care of. Carnival's going to start going to Hawaii 2027 from California. Carnival already goes to Hawaii from California, but they're the long itineraries. They're not having port intensive Hawaii cruises, but they're already cruising from California. It's just very, very seasonal. And you might get, like I said, 3 ports. Yeah, see what she says. So much is going on. I can't keep up. I can't either. I can't either. Cherise says, I'm interested in Thanksgiving cruise. You still have availability? We do. Cherise is referring to our MSC World Atlantic, which is our group cruise for, it's not the inaugural sailing of MSC World Atlantic. It's the second sailing, which is amazing. We have 40 cabins maybe booked for that one so far. So it's going to be a pretty nice sized group. So yeah, we still have space if you want to join us. I need to double check the pricing though to make sure my pricing hasn't changed because we did sell out of some categories. So I'll try to put that information on social media tomorrow. Okay, Marcy says we have found some good deals for cruising in May. Less crowded, warm weather, no hurricanes. Absolutely, absolutely. Cruising on Carnival Magic in September. Wanda Hope Wondering, welcome in. For 8 days. First time cruise, really confused. Don't drink, so worried I'm hold on. It says, concerned you're gonna be bored. You're not gonna be bored, not on Carnival. Carnival's gonna have all kinds of activities. Just make sure you download the Carnival Hub app. Once you get on board, the Carnival Hub app really isn't very useful till you get on board. Once you get on board, you're gonna see all of the activities that they have available. Carnival is probably one of the cruise lines that has almost nonstop activities, whether it's pool deck activities, they'll have bingo, they'll have dance parties, they'll have trivia, they'll have arts and crafts, they'll have all kinds of things going on the ship. And you don't have to drink to be on a cruise. That is such a misconception. Like people don't walk around drunk on a cruise. Now you'll find some, but especially 8 day cruise, it's a little more chill, a little more relaxed. If you're on a 3 day cruise, yeah, there might be some drunks on there, but cruising is not about going to get drunk or drinking. So don't feel like you have to drink to have fun. Um, there's gonna be lots of things for you to do, and of course you'll be in port, so you'll have a good time, and you probably have a nice itinerary since you're cruising out of San Juan. Let's see here. What is that? Wop says I'm a new agent as of this month. Congratulations on getting started. What's one piece of advice you can give to a new agent? You just have to market yourself. I think oftentimes, and I'll be very honest, there are a lot of new agents, and I'm not saying this in any way to shade anyone who's a new agent, but I think there's this misconception too that everyone can be a travel agent, and I don't believe that. I don't think that's the case. I guess everyone can sign up to be a travel agent, but everyone can't be a good travel agent. So I think you have to market yourself as a good travel agent, and you do that by traveling yourself, talking about travel, posting about travel. Whether you're posting on social media or you're just talking word of mouth, you have to put yourself out there as an expert. That's what's going to get people to want to book with you. That's how you're going to get clients and get leads. That's how you're going to retain clients and leads. I get asked often, how do you retain clients and how do you retain your business? Well, first off, having, good service, following up as quickly as you can. But I think for me, the biggest piece is that I'm constantly traveling. And so you kind of see what I'm doing. You get tips, tricks, this along the way. So people look at me as someone that, oh, she does travel, so I want to book with her. So you have to kind of put yourself out there. Again, whether that is on social media or whether it's with your circle of friends and family, that this is what you do. So just be ready and willing to market yourself. That is the biggest thing. Because often I hear a lot of travel agents start and they sign up and they struggle with getting sales. And then I get questions and I can't answer all the questions I get from TAs. What am I doing wrong? Well, I'm asking, are you traveling? Have you traveled? And some are like, no, I've never taken a cruise. I've never gone abroad. It's going to be hard. So I would say if you aren't already traveling, get out there, try to travel, try to highlight, whether it's through pictures, video, whatever, that will help you get business and help you grow your business. Oh, the other tip would be to specialize in something. You can't do it all. I also hear a lot of new travel agents that start up and they're like, I'm going to book flights, I'm going to book all inclusives, I'm going to book cruises, I'm going to book tours, I'm going to do land based, I'm going to do all. Don't do it. Don't do it. Start with one thing, specialize in that, and then maybe eventually branch off. It's too much to learn, too much to do, and there's no way for you to be an expert in all of that. And I'm always honest with people when they ask me about all-inclusive resorts or whatever. I don't book them. I don't know anything about them. I'm not even going to pretend like I do. And honestly, I don't have the time to do the research to try to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. Cruising, I know like the back of my hand. I can talk about it all day. And so that's why I've stuck with what I'm doing. So find the area that you want to focus in, would you like to travel, and then maybe promote yourself that way. Sherry says, my son booked a cabin on MSC and now my other son wants to go also. They're both adults. How much would it be to add him? Whatever the rate is right now. If he was solo, he might have had a solo cabin. So it just varies. You'd have to contact your travel agent or contact the cruise line and they can assist you with that. Because the pricing, there's no like set price to add a second person. If he was in a solo cabin, he probably had a really, really good deal. And so now you're adding a second person, that's going to change. In some cases, if he's already paying double occupancy, let's say if he's in a regular cabin and it's not a solo cabin, then the only thing that you would pay in addition for that second person would be the taxes, fees, port expenses, but it depends on what he was booked under. All right, guys, I'm gonna take about 10 more minutes and then I'm gonna get out of here. The traveling type, welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you guys being here. It says good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Diane, welcome into you. Rodney says, I'm going on my first trip on Royal Caribbean Utopia this season. I got a loft suite. Congratulations. Enjoy that. I hope you have a good time on your birthday cruise. Kim says, I'm looking forward to our Thanksgiving cruise. Yes, and actually, not to put your business out there, but when I said that I just filled my Thanksgiving group, they snagged the last few cabins I had for that. So, guys, when you see these discounted rates that I share, I'm not making this stuff up. Like when you look online, the pricing that you're getting for Royal, our pricing is different, especially if you're having two guests in a cabin. And yeah, those are gone. So I have to remove them from my website because I've had a lot of people reaching out for Thanksgiving. Yes, Travel SVC says Miami Airport is a total disaster. If you get in at 8, head to the port at 8. Otherwise, you'll be sitting in a 2-hour traffic jam. I haven't really had that. I haven't really had that experience out of Miami with a lot of traffic. There are times where there can be traffic, but I would rather wait at the airport than go have to stand outside the cruise terminal. That's just me because there's no seating outside the cruise terminal. You're going to have to stand. Welcome in, M. Stewart. Appreciate you being here. Um, Lindsay says we have star booked family of 5 on family balcony room next April for $6,700. Thank you so much, Joanne, for subscribing. I appreciate that. For $6,700, that's a great rate. If you can get 5 people on Star with the Seas for $6,700, you found a great rate. Ashley, welcome in. Ashley, appreciate you being here. Says, do older ships offer Faster to the Fun? They do. So if you guys aren't familiar, Faster to the Fun is Carnival's it's a package you can purchase with Carnival if you want to have early access. So I personally, I'm very honest. I don't necessarily recommend Faster to the Fun unless you're just somebody that wants to be the first to certain things. Faster to the Fun, you pay for it for the entire cabin. If you have 2 cabins, you have to purchase it for both cabins. It might be like $129 for a 5-night sailing, and you pay for it, and it gives you, thank you so much, Patricia, for subscribing. I appreciate that. Again, we are on the road to 40K, so everyone who subscribes, we absolutely love it, and you help us continue to create content and travel and do what we do when you subscribe and watch our videos, so we appreciate it. So Faster to the Fun is like a pass you'll get from Carnival that pretty much when you get to the terminal, you'll have you still have to go through the regular lane. No, actually there's a separate lane for Faster to the Fun with priority, and then you have a separate section of the terminal that you sit in, and you are amongst the first to board. You board after Diamond, Platinum, and Sweet Guest, then Faster to the Fun board. But the issue with it is if you don't select an early arrival time, having Faster to the Fun is really pointless, because let's say you know your flight doesn't get in until later and you're flying in the morning of and you don't board till 1. Faster the Fun does you no purpose. The other thing that Faster the Fun is good for is guest services, but how often do you have to go to guest services on a cruise? I wouldn't pay to have this access just to skip the line if I don't think I'll ever really have to go to guest services. But where I think Faster to the Fun is valuable is if you have a tender port, they will automatically give you priority to get on the tender boat, which is complimentary, but you have priority getting on that. So that's kind of where I see the benefit, but $129 or whatever the cost is, for me, it's not worth it. If you are already a platinum or diamond suite or whatever, you don't need it. I personally don't care for Faster to the Fun, but I know some people that do. But yes, it is available on all Carnival ships, but it is capacity controlled. So once it sells out, that's it. Let's see here. Sorry, scrolling. Stephanie says, will you be going on the new Carnival Festival? Yes, I will. We will as a family. We will be on the May 23rd sailing. So we couldn't do the first one, the 4-night sailing out, because we will be doing our land and sea out of New Orleans during that time. So there was a conflict. We announced the New Orleans group cruise, and then I think 2 or 3 weeks later is when they assigned the date for the new Carnival ship. Trina Staycations, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you subscribing. Says, going on Freedom of the Seas with my family this month. So excited. I've been binge watching your videos. I appreciate that. Now, we haven't been on Freedom in a while, so those videos are probably old. But I love Freedom. Freedom is a great especially if you're a first time cruiser with Royal. It's a great size ship, great for families. Uh, it says, do you book with casino offers? Can I transfer to you after booking with Carnival casino offer? First Carnival cruise, I haven't made the final payment yet. So this is the thing. We do not, unless you are an existing client, we do not just book casino offers. And this is why, and I'm very transparent about it. Some cruise lines don't pay anything. Some cruise lines pay very, very, like a very, very low commission to where it's not worth booking those casino deals, especially if it's a free casino deal. So we don't typically just book those unless you're an existing client, because we understand that sometimes existing clients go on the ship, they get those perks, and we're not going to say, hey, you're no longer a client because you get casino deals. It's just not, we don't, we're in this business to make money, and I'm very honest about that. And so if we're not really making money off it, it just doesn't work for us. And yeah, so for the most part, we don't. But if you are booked with Carnival and you want to transfer a reservation over, as long as your reservation was booked within the last 60 days, not paid in full, then it can be transferred. If it was booked further out, it cannot be transferred. But we don't just take casino offers. Welcome in, Nat Wash. Appreciate you being here. Um, it says new agents listen to this advice. This is the best advice you will get, no matter how scary it seems. Yes, and you did your first video of your face this past weekend, so that was amazing. Yeah, you got to just put yourself out there for sure. On the go with Yellow. Welcome, and you know what, Yellow, you sent me a text earlier. I am so bad, guys. When I tell you, if it's not an email, I might not see it for a little bit. I saw your I saw your text earlier, and before I started this live stream, I said, "Oh, I forgot to respond." So sorry, I did get your text. Appreciate you being here. Are you booking cruises for 2028? Absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever's available. A lot of the cruise lines are only available now through about April, May of 2028, but we are booking. Is it Sniffles? Welcome in. Thank you so much for subscribing. We appreciate it. But yeah, we're booking cruises. We have so much already on the books for 2027, 2028. Nat Wash, thank you for becoming a channel member. I appreciate that as well. Team Reach Travel says we used to do Faster to Fun many, many years ago, but doesn't seem worth it anymore. Yeah, it's really not. I mean, unless they give some extra perks, like some bottles of water, something, I feel like they need to add something to it, because truly you're just getting early access at the terminal if you get an early check-in, because it's not guaranteed you're going to get an early check-in time. You get priority lane at the guest services. You get priority tender ticket. If you have a tender port, you might not even have a tender port. I think there's one other thing. I think priority dining reservation. So let's say you wanted early dining, but you had to get late dining. They will bump you to early dining because you have Faster to the Fun. So I think those are the perks. One Jelly, welcome in, welcome in. Marcia says, I've enjoyed this chat. I usually don't listen live because I work today. I'm overlapping. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Marcia. Appreciate all your support. All right, guys, a couple more minutes and I gotta go. Gotta get back to work. Yes, thank you so much. Please don't forget to hit that like button. We do appreciate it. Living Life Blind, welcome in, welcome in. Says, when is the Land and Sea Cruise? I'm in New Orleans and I would love to join the land part. So the land portion, we'd love for you to join us. The land portion, and I might actually reach out to you to get some get some insider. I've been to New Orleans several times, but it's always nice to hear from locals, kind of where we should go and what we should do. So I probably will email you. The Land and Sea Cruise we're doing the land portion May 14th to the 16th of 2027. And then the cruise is May 16th through the 20th. So we will be in New Orleans the 14th through the 16th. I think I'll probably arrive on the 13th so we can get things rolling on the 14th. So the 14th through the 16th, 14th and 15th, I should say, will be the land portion. On the Go with Yellow says, I don't think I've ever purchased Faster to the Fun. It's not worth it. Yeah. Can you add on one of the more at sea once you have booked yourself? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can call to add on the more at sea. And I think we're down at the bottom of the chat. This is my last question. I gotta get out of here. What is your preferred cruise line for family sailing? Carnival. Carnival. Even though Carnival did me wrong, y'all. I don't know if I even talked about this. Did I? About my 25th cruise. They did resolve it. And so if you guys don't know, I just cruised my 25th Carnival cruise. You're supposed to get some perks for that. Didn't really get anything. And you're supposed to get onboard credit valued at 25% of the cruise fare for the cruise you were on. That didn't happen. They are now going to add that to my next cruise or whatever. But Carnival for the family, just because they have lots of family activities, is very, very family oriented. I would say If you're looking at Carnival, to definitely go with one of the XL class ships. So Carnival Mardi Gras, Carnival Celebration, Carnival Jubilee. Those are excellent ships to get on for the family. Royal Caribbean is also great for families. Our family tends to prefer Carnival though over Royal. One Jelly says, where can I find out your group trips? If you go to our website, majoradventurestravel.com, on the upper right hand corner, there's a tab that says groups. You can find our group information there. We have some groups now through 2028. So, and I will be announcing another group cruise for 2028 soon. I get asked, why do you book your groups out so far? Well, that's because space is limited. As we found out through our Dubai group cruise we have for 2028, like balcony cabins are sold out. It's not from our group. It's just, I guess people are very interested in cruising. And so I try to announce as early as I can so that, and also so people can have time to pay on it. Because cruising, cruising's not cheap for some people. And we want to make sure we give people enough time to, if they want to get on board with us, they want to join a group, that they have time to pay on it. So all right, guys, that is it for today's Monday Midday Cruise Q&A. I appreciate you guys sticking around even amidst all of the technical glitches and my husband calling and all this and that, and then Dice bringing me my goodie from Panera. So I appreciate it. I will go live again next Monday for our Monday Midday Cruise Q&A. I might have a vlog out tomorrow or Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. And again, if you are looking to plan a cruise, contact us at Major Adventures Travel. We would love to help you. If you want to get on one of our groups, go to our website, click groups. You'll see all of the group cruises that we have planned. And I think that is it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and get back to work. Appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and stay tuned. Set the notification for. Actually, I have to go in and re-add next week's because I think I just jumped into next week's live stream when I messed up. But turn on the notification bell, subscribe, all of that good stuff, so you know when I go live. Thank you so much, your sis Cassandra, for becoming a channel member. I appreciate that. 15 months of membership. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone for being here, and I will see you guys later. Have a great week.